What's up, everybody? I'm Metal Nick.
I'm Jeff Grindstoffer.
I'm Justin Pearson.
Welcome to episode number 29 of Vinyl Bang. Today, our special guest, Mr. Justin Pearson. You may know from such bands as The Locust, Retox, Dead Cross, Swing Kids, Some Girls, Planet B, Def Club, and 31G Records. Thank you for being on the show with us today, Justin. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks.
All right, Justin Pearson. Yeah.
Thanks for having me too. Your show's rad, and I obviously love vinyl, so it's a fucking rad treat to be on here.
Well, thank you. We're honored to have you, Justin.
Thanks.
Definitely. I can't tell you how many times I've seen Locust, Some Girls, Dead Cross most recently, but this is great that you took the time to join us on this show today.
Sure.
Today Justin is going to discuss a combination of things. We're going to do a little 31G, a little personal favorites, and maybe some financial disasters. But Justin, you want to go ahead and kick things off with what you want to talk about today?
Sure. Yeah, it was funny because when we were discussing like the topic and stuff, it was like, oh, they all kind of intertwine. So I mean, I started 31G when I was 19, which is a long time ago, almost 30 years ago, and I kind of did it like as a necessity to put out my own bands or my friends' bands, and it was never. I'm not a business person. I like always did things wrong, but wrong is always good in a sense. And I had like a lot of influence, like specifically Gravity Records, like how they would do crazy shit with silkscreen, or the infamous Heroin paper bag 7-inch, or the first Aniak Gale record that was like a spray painted stencil. So I was really into like being creative about stuff. I think maybe I took a slightly different route and didn't do like always do like the cheaper kind of things. I did the more stupid or financially questionable things. So yeah, it's been a weird run, but I'm still learning. So I from the start to now, like even now, we're working with this really awesome new pressing plant called Smash Plastic in Chicago, and they're awesome. We have 2 records through their pressing plant. Like I'm super psyched to work with them. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm a big vinyl dork. So there's that.
Awesome. Welcome to the club. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so, if we're going to dive into 31G stuff, that's great. But there's one thing that I would like to show that kind of like was this weird inspiration when I was a kid. Well, there's 2. One is this shitty band called Kiss. They had this record called Double Platinum, I think, or something like that. And it was all chrome. And I was obsessed with it as a child before I realized that they weren't a very good band. And I was told that you could like reflect an image of Satan on the wall with it. And that never happened. But I was like, fuck, this is so cool that there's like all these other things to the packaging of a record. So that in context with Barnes and Barnes, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but let me see if I can. I guess I should have grabbed these things in advance, but the Fish Heads record. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but like this shit.
Oh wow!
Like when I was a kid and I got this, I was like, "This is fucked up." Like, not musical, Like I mean, it's musical, obviously, but like it's like another thing, like that you want to own and have.
Sure.
So like that kind of like set me off on a very weird trajectory, and so. That coupled with like Gravity Records, Vinyl Communications, and things, I started doing things pretty oddly. So like, I'll just grab this thing of 7 inches up here, and I'll just pull out a few things. So the first 31G release was a Unbroken 7-inch, and it was kind of a wild thing to put out. So it's this rubber stamped and done very cheap. United Record Pressing, which was like the cheapest record pressing plant at the time. So I stole all the covers from Kinko's. So basically I just paid for records, the vinyl, and that was it. And they were, a pretty big band. So it sold really well, and was able to like kind of kickstart things. I mean, over the years though, like it's changed to a black cover. There's like weird shit with rubber stamps where we like make odd variants of it. And then of course, you know, like trying to find interesting colors. It's a gold one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just do like cool shit like that. But so the Unbroken 7-inch was a really helpful band to release as a first release. It kind of kicked it off into that realm. So the thing that really fucked everything up in a good way would be this record. So this is number 4, 3-1G number 4, and it was like completely a financial terrible idea, disaster, not a disaster, terrible idea. Locust, Jenny Piccolo, 5-inch picture disc. So the cost of this would be a 7-inch picture disc plus an extra fee to make it smaller. It doesn't play on very many record players. And then it has like all this other shit with it. So there's like, this is like the back cover kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this insert, which, so I typically stole these from Kinko's as well, but still the cost of this in 90, whatever year that was, 95, maybe 96, was kind of weird because like you couldn't really sell this for what you would think it would be worth. So it was like, you know, I was selling it for like $250 or something, a little bit more than a 7-inch. And the good thing was that Locust and Jane Piccolo were constantly touring back then, so we were able to sell quite a lot. So I'm pretty sure I broke even, but I don't know. So then, you know, over the years, just I got like a little bit more stupid with things. So there's like this Black Dice book. So it's like a 40-page book on like, it's kind of wild, like super random color vinyl. But the book itself was printed with my friend Vaughn at Custom Printing, and it's like all of their artwork. And the crazy thing is, so it was printed and then assembled printed by Vaughn, assembled by myself. And the thing that was pretty wild was like, I had to, this pocket, I had to like glue every single cover myself or with friends. So I had to glue the pocket, and then I had to collate it, staple it, all that shit. And then, you know, again, like at the time, you couldn't really sell it for what it should have been worth. So I'm, you know, forced to sell these things for like $8 or something, which is fucked up, you know, like color vinyl, 40-page book, like die cut cover, and I'd have to sell them for nothing, you know. My labor was just a wash, you know. So that's number I don't know what number that is, 9, 8, maybe somewhere earlier on. No, not 9 or 8. I don't know. It's early in the. Now I'm at like 146. So like something like that was very early on, but it was always just like the way to go. You know, like let's just keep getting like a 5-inch or a book or whatever, you know. And then I think one of the more insane things was this the split 7-inch that. That I did the Crimson Curse and the Festival of Dead Deer. So I was starting to get into the die cut thing, like the fish, and I was like, oh, let's do a square 7-inch. That's rad. Again, it's the cost of a 12-inch with an additional fee to cut it, and I still had to sell it for like $4, which people like frowned upon. So it was pretty crazy. But again, both bands, you know, were on tour at the time. We sold quite a bit. I pretty sure I lost money on this as well. And then, like, kind of to derail the 3-1G thing, I took it upon myself to suggest something with the Locust. This was on GSL, but to do like a puddle shape, which is so you can see the like different body fluid ideas. So this would be the urine one, And I just thought, like, what's a stupid shape? And was stupid, and so we did that.
I just shared that on the show a couple weeks ago. I think mine was the brown one, or maybe the vomit
poop,
one,
I guess, or something.
Yeah.
So like, I was obsessed with all this kind of like packaging ideas. Obviously, it doesn't translate to the music, but it's cool to have I think to have an artifact like that. I also struggle with other elements of it. Like, obviously the financial thing's fucked up. And then my labor never gets factored into it. And I occasionally I'd have people help me do stuff, you know, like assemble the Black Dice books. But for the most part, it was me. And so that's just kind of a bummer. But yeah, I kept going. And then at some point I transitioned away from it. And I realized, like, it's not like the best idea to do that kind of stuff. But here's like a Holy Molar 7-inch that we did. Totally ridiculous printing on the inside. So if you want to read the lyrics, you got to tear the cover apart, which I thought was a good idea. You know, then more recently, I did this project with Nick Zinner called More Pain. So we did like a flexi X-ray, which is, you know, it's supposed to look like, because the picture is like picture's a broken, whatever this part is of your shoulder. So that was like the goal, to make it look like an X-ray. This didn't sell or shit. It also sounds like shit. So there's that. I feel like I might be jumping all over the place, but like here's a good example of like why I started the label. So this is Swing Kids EP that came out in 90. I don't know what year it was. 4 maybe. And the thing that was weird was, so we were like, we want to be a binded record cover, and the label that originally put it out added this white border, and then it was like a, you know, just like a copied sleeve. So I was bummed on that. And then the guy that put the label, or the guy that put the record out, his label folded. So I was like, hey, since you're not doing it, can I buy the masters back or whatever, and try to, you know, release it myself. So that was like right at the start of 31G when I did the Unbroken 7-inch. I also did the Swing Kids 7-inch. So again, this is what it should have looked like. This is on 31G. It's a binded cover, which I also had to cut and glue every single cover for the first like 3,000 or 4,000. But yeah, I just wanted it to look like this, like an old jazz record on Blue Note or something, not like a fold over hardcore record from the early 90s. You know, and then over the years, like more recently, we like this friend of mine who runs 31G with me now, Brand Moon. He does a lot of design work. He did some pretty crazy shit with this this Def Club record he printed. So like this one's pretty gnarly. It's so the sleeve is printed, but so is this. So like you can kind of see the maybe it's hard to tell. There's like texture on this printed. And so basically, so the thing is, it's a clear record. He'll print the lyrics, the red, the black, then another white pass, and then he'll do this image on it. So you know, this is like if he wasn't like scamming these things for us, I'd be fucked. Like there's no way I could afford this. But it's kind of crazy. Like again, you can see the texture when you have it. Like it's pretty rad. It's something you'd want to like hang on your wall. It like feels gnarly and it looks great. So you know, with this was like a more recent release. So I'm constantly trying to find ways to do cool shit. It doesn't always happen like that. But again, like, you know, we're working with this new pressing plant who's got like iridescent vinyl and stuff. I wish I had some of that to show you guys, but we don't have those yet.
Dude, one of the things for the Def Club record, the ones that had the matchsticks in it.
Okay, that's some fucking crazy shit too. So thanks for bringing that up. I have those, but I have something that's even gnarlier than that. Hold on one second. It's right here. I just don't know which. It's got to be this one. Let's see. So this band, Run for Your Fucking Life, old San Diego hardcore band. We reissued their record, like their 20th anniversary thing.
Okay.
So back when I put out the Festival of Dead Deer LP, we had this idea to put razor blades in the vinyl, and the pressing plant was like, absolutely not. That's a total fucking liability. There's no way we can do that. So we found another place that would do it for us, and there's like actual razor blades in here.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They move around a little bit. Completely not a practical thing to do again. So this is done by like a third party. So basically you have to press records on clear vinyl, give them, it takes 2 copies of the record to make this, plus an additional 35 or 40 bucks to put them together. So you're looking at like around $70 to get this made, just to have it be made. And then of course that's a lot of money. You make, I think there was like 10 of these, and everyone in the band wants one, and I want one. So then they're like, fuck, the cost of these like just went up
Right.
exponentially. So so we did this first, and then I was like, all right, let's get fucking weird. So we did the Def Club Matchstick one, and then we did a bunch of liquid filled records, which is like, I mean, a lot of people have done those, but I think they look sick. I'm a big fan of those. Let's see.
Yeah, the liquid filled ones, like I've heard horror stories where like, you know, the beads of glue, whatever, give, and so the like liquid leaks. And it's like,
I hope that doesn't happen.
I hope.
So like this one's pretty sick. This Mets,
Dude.
2-colored one.
Oh,
And again, it's like stupid to like money to make 1 copy. And then, you know, I'm like, hey guys, you want to do this? They're like, fuck yeah. And I'm like, cool. They're going to retail for like about $100. And they're just like, what? And I'm like, check it out. This is how much it costs. But then of course, like you put it online and it fucking sells out instantly because there's only 10 or 15 of them, you know? And we did that with one of Dave Lombardo has with his wife and called Benna Morris. And they were also signed. I didn't keep a signed copy, but this is pretty sick in itself. Like the packaging's great. It's got this like spot gloss on the images, and then the matte, god damn it, the matte black. So it really pops out. It looks so beautiful. And then of course, you know, they're down to do liquid. So we got this liquid filled Venom Morris record, which it's Dave and Paula Lombardo's project. Oh. So the liquid stuff is such a sick option if you can afford it. You know, it's like it's so expensive, completely not practical. And people do trip out on like $100 for a record or more. You know, I mean, the Venom Morris ones were really limited. I think we sold them for a bit more because they were autographed and stuff. But like, we've been doing pretty rad test pressings for 31G. Like, so we would do stuff with like silkscreen them, and there's like, again, 10 or 15 of these. We try to like hype them online. Like, hey, there's only 15 copies, you know, maybe $100. And the point is to like recoup, faster. And I mean, if people trip out on like $100 for this, like you're getting a record, there's only 10 or 15 of them. And the thing is, like, at the end of the day, you know, playing music and putting out records, you're at the level that like most 31G artists are at. You're like, we're lucky to make a couple $100, you know, like it's royalties are fucking rare. So, but yeah, so collaborations are cool. Like working with other people, like my friend Colin has a print shop here. He also plays in a band called Savende and part-time plays in Def Club. He does all the printing for our test pressings. So it's pretty rad to just have like my friend who I, you know, care about and love, like be like, hey, I'm going to just print these test pressings for you. And like, you get like an awesome product. I would be psyched if like my favorite bands offered those too. So
no, absolutely. Yeah, that's cool as shit. One question that I have: the screen pressing for the Homivore. How did this come to be? Like, what was the exact reason for the screen print? Because this has been one of my favorite releases, and just it's so unique from the other ones. Do you know the exact story of why?
Totally, yeah. So for whatever reason, at the time, I don't remember. Like we were changing pressing plants or something. So we had more vinyl than we had covers. And so we had like just a certain amount of leftover vinyl. So instead of trying to get a bunch of, we need like, I don't know what the right term, like the right number was. Let's say like, I think there was like 50 or something, maybe they're numbered, but whatever the amount it was, like we couldn't get that many covers. We got to do a whole other pressing of the record. So, I was like, hey, we could do a silkscreen, limited cover. And so we were working with Bad Skulls at the time, who was like a really rad t-shirt company. Based out of Oakland. And they were just like homies, and they printed them. They printed posters and stuff like that too. So they did a limited run of those covers, and so that was just to kind of use up the last of that pressing. I mean, we've since repressed it again on 31G, but that was a weird record because I don't know what the color vinyl is on that limited one, but like we initially just went like balls out, and it was, a gatefold with cow colored vinyl. And, we were kind of forced to sell it in the like, I jokingly say this, but like the ebullition vermiform price range, where like you couldn't really sell something for more than a certain amount without people like frowning upon whatever you're doing. So like, anyhow, we had the leftover records, and we were changing pressing plants. And so I just suggested that. And so we didn't have things sitting around. Also, like limited shit's cool like that. This was like before online commerce was a thing like it is now. So like it was kind of rad when people would actually end up getting those records. I don't know how they got them. I don't even know how we ended up selling them, but they were fucking super limited. So like if you got one, that's rad.
No, dude. It was hard to track down, but it's definitely one of my most cherished
fucking
records. Yeah.
I mean, it looks great. So the artwork is from the T-shirt, which Bad Skull was already printing for us. Yeah. Yeah. So we were just like, yeah, put that on the cover.
Yeah, I don't remember what the I don't know if this is numbered or not, but I don't remember what the.
I thought they were hand numbered. I could be wrong. I have one here. Let me just check. Maybe I don't have one. I got so many copies of this thing.
Yeah, I don't see a number in here anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think I have it. I don't think I have one. I don't know. I should have had one.
Right.
But I did want to pull out this other record here that is kind of like a more recent 31G one. Initially, the Locust released Safety Second Body Last on its own label, which was called Radio Surgery. And then after the Locust kind of stopped doing that, 31G absorbed those vinyl releases. So Ipecac released Safety Second Body Last on CD, and the band released it on vinyl. And then the band eventually went ahead and reissued it on 31G. And, of course, like this is the original like cover for it. Your basic cover for this album. And then at some point we ended up teaming up with Brain Dead, the company from Los Angeles that does like everything weird, like clothing, and like they do like just a lot of different like products, and they have a theater, and they're super awesome. But so we ended up doing this version with them.
Oh wow!
So this was like this was done by the artwork originally was done by Neil Burke, and then Brand Moon, who I mentioned about the Def Club 7-inch. Did this. So basically what it is like an insert of this.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh,
and
wow.
Then there's also this other like foil piece that's on here too, which is
oh shit.
So the assembly was like really stupid because you had to put like these two little stickers, and then you had to open these up and put this thing in it. But yeah, so this was like a more recent and one of my kind of super favorite releases that we got to mess with, and it's like properly on 3.1G, and I don't know, that was the jam, and that was also weird too because Braindead's awesome, and they have like their own fan base, so like people were just buying it like they didn't, I don't think, knew about the Locust, so that worked out great for us. Yeah, so but I can riff on Brand for a minute because he did this other sick record. He did, let's see if I. So here's like another when we were talking about the test press versions of things. Oh shit! Let me grab the original. So, God damn it. So like here's the Def Club record that came out not too long ago. Like I don't know what year it was. And Brand came up with this idea for this test pressing that was like a Brain Dead exclusive. So it's like, you know, typical test pressing, but again, it has this very similar to the Locust Safety Second one. It has this extra piece. It doesn't really double up like on the images, but like you have this extra thing that kind of just slides in the regular test pressing sleeve. I think there was like 20 of these made or something. So like, you know, you could get the regular one or this test pressing version.
Oh yeah.
This shit's cool to me. So.
No, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I guess, and then I wish there was like a real recent thing that I could show you that I was psyched on, because we haven't got them yet. So we're putting out this band called Help, and they're doing an iridescent kind of color thing, which is rad. Yeah, again, this place, Smash Plastic, their shit looks pretty wild. They're just like throwing glitter and shit, and like I don't know, like whatever. Just I like obviously like color vinyl and like weird vinyl stuff, but like a lot of times it looks very looks kind of like the same. Like, oh, everything with splatter looks the same, but when you can fuck it up and make it look weird, you know, or different or unique, that's cool to me.
Sure.
Yeah, there's like pretty weird shit. Like, this isn't a 3.1G release, obviously, but I just got this in the mail because Beverly Hills Cop. So like the thing that like in that because it's through Enjoy the Ride, who is a 3.1G recently worked with them with a film score that we put out, but they sent me this record, and so you know, in my mind I'm like, okay, that looks cool. Like, how did they get the puddle and the splatter to work? I need to like ask a plant, because I thought like if you put multiple colors it would like all splatter, or like maybe they splatter it and then did the puddle. I don't know. Anyhow, these are questions that I have for pressing plants that I probably should know. Again, that's not a 3.1G release, but
right.
But
still unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could pull out more stuff, but I'm not sure how deep you all want to go here.
Oh, it's whatever you want to talk about, man. Whatever you want to showcase. Now, I do have a question about the unbroken vinyl.
Yeah.
You had 45s and 7-inches. Like, which one is the more lucrative way to approach that? With the where you have to put the attachment in the middle?
Yeah. So initially, Eric Allen, who was in Unbroken and Swing Kids, was like really into the style of things and like thought it would be cool to have the big hole. And so the big hole actually cost like a few cents more to make than a regular 7-inch. Okay. But I thought it looked cool. It looked like again, like, you know, initially I wanted everything to kind of look like, I was really into Blue Note, the jazz label. So I wanted things to look like that and have that feel. And I thought, oh, a big hole would kind of get us into that realm. So yeah, it costs a little bit more. It also irritates a lot of people. So that was like always kind of my jam. But there are versions without the big hole. I'm not attached to it either way anymore. Like, I'm over the novelty of it.
Right.
I think actually I would prefer not to have the big hole, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean that way you don't have to put more effort, you know, putting the thing in the middle to put it on the turntable. You know, it's just one less step. You know, it's just easier accessible. You know.
Wait, what'd you say?
It's just easier to access
Oh yeah,
put the record on if you don't have to add the attachment in the middle of the 45 to,
Yeah, but I don't really care what people think, I mean, it looks cool to me, so there's like it's cool, whatever. Yeah, it's
Sure.
not a good idea. It costs a little bit more. I probably shouldn't have ever done it, but whatever, did it. So there's a couple more. This is like, again, another Brand Moon thing that we did for Mets, which is like very similar to the Def Club 7-inch. Except on the Def Club 7-inch, it was printed on the sleeve. This is like a sticker, and then again, like the one-sided. So the music's on one side, and then the printing is on the other. So this came out not too long ago. Then we also did this other collaboration. This is kind of weird with PBR, which no offense to PBR, but I'm not a big fan of beer or PBR. But we did this record where they were doing their this like music thing, PBR music series, and they're like, let's do a record, and we're like, okay. So we did this Invisible Scratch Pickles and Planet B split 7-inch hidden picture disc. So like you don't even know it's a picture disc in the cover, it's like this weird thing with like it's got like meat, ground beef or something on it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that ground beef?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, it's funny because originally there was one with a condom and a cockroach, and they're just like, fuck this, you can't do that. Like they were like not having it. We're like, all right, I get it. It was grosser. But so we did this with them, and then we weren't allowed to sell it. Like it was free. So that was kind of weird too, because you're like, they paid for it, and that was cool. But yeah, so we, jokingly put that it was 99 cents and used just stupid shit like that because it was a freebie, but they made 1,000 of them, and the two bands got them, and I don't know where they went, but I don't have any more. So yeah, that was a weird one.
That's awesome though.
Right on.
Yeah, so that's one thing that I learned with 3-1-G is like if I could collaborate with someone that has money, that's pretty rad because then I can do stupid shit and not have to worry about going broke.
Sure.
So I don't know. Yeah, I guess I don't know. There's tons of shit. There's tons of things that we could dive into.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of stuff that you've done throughout the years that I'd like to ask about.
Well, here's another cool bunch of stuff. So like we did this Some Girls record, which is pretty rad. One of my favorite releases. And it's a bunch of different kinds of colors of vinyl, but the lyrics are etched into the vinyl.
Oh, that's rad.
And it's in a circle, so it's like really a total pain in the ass to actually read it. So we did.
It's hard to read while you're playing it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is what it is.
Right.
Yeah. So like different colors. This one's like a cool blue transparent one. And then at some point, sort of like that cattle one you were talking about, where like we would end up with extra vinyl. And so we were like, oh, let's figure out a way to get rid of these other covers. So we did like this version, which is just in like it's in like a picture disc sleeve with just like a piece of cardboard. So we did like limited runs of these covers, and then at some point it was like we would end up like with fucking random shit, so I would just like spray paint. So there's like I think there's probably 7 of these or something. I don't know where they went. But it's really not practical. The spray paint scratches off real easily. But yeah, there was like this version, which is kind of garbage in some way. Yeah. The variants and like the weird oddities are always my jam. I wish I could do more of them. It's funny because sometimes if I'm not like part of the band, like they get bombed. I'm like, oh, sorry, I thought we could change. Like, no, well, okay, this isn't like this was on accident, but when we were printing these, a bunch of them were printed yellow, and so I was like, well, fuck, I ran out of the blue, and so we made like I don't know what the number was, like something like 30 with yellow text, and I think Mets were bummed, and it wasn't our fault. It was just like so fucking expensive. Well, we scammed most of it, but it was very hard to make these. So like I had to use whatever stuff I had, and I had a bunch of yellow ones, and I think they were just like, dude, you can't change our album artwork. And I was like, I get it, but I can't afford to just do like another 30 stickers, like die cut, whatever. And I think they were fine with it. We're still friends, but I understand when that stuff happens, because that's kind of like why 31G even started with the Swing Kid 7 and how they changed things around. So I don't know. Yeah. We could venture into like CDs if you want. I mean, I have like fucking dumb square CDs, which is stupid. But that's a dead format as far as I'm concerned.
We did with J.R. Hayes about CDs, so break them out.
Okay.
If there's anything you want to showcase, man, because this is interesting to me. I love hearing about the history of 31G. This is awesome.
All right. Yeah, so the Locust did this. This is the 5-inch picture disc with Jenny Piccolo, but just the Locust, and we did this release, and it's a square 7-inch. A square CD. So it's like, it looks cool, but like completely will not play in any CD player unless it's top loading. So it has to like have a tray, and then you can stick this in it, and then it's got like under 2 minutes worth of music on it or something. So it was really dumb. And the manufacturer we're using at the time was also our distributor, and so they thought it would be great to make like 7,000 of these, and that was like the worst fucking thing ever. And like I had to pay for it, and I was like, dude, we'll never sell these ever. And I've actually given them away a lot. There's this artist in Orange County, I forgot their name, but then she made like earrings out of them, and then she was like on the cover of a magazine wearing them, which that's cool. So yeah, I was obsessed with the little miniature 3-inch CDs. So that was kind of like what
I have the self-titled that I got years ago with the 3-inch mini disc in there.
Which one?
The Locust self-titled.
Oh yeah, the Locust one, the EP.
Yeah. Yes.
I thought they were like kind of funny and adorable. Yeah, this one right here. So it's like really small. We did this one, also very small, and then this was like the stupidest one. So this is like a double 3-inch CD gatefold, and it has like a tiny insert.
That's
wow.
great.
Yeah. So there's two discs. So that's obviously disc 2 and disc 1. And this was like a total financial disaster as well. This band was a joke, and every release will never recoup ever. So there's that. So yeah, there's no. If someone could suggest any more dumb ideas, I'd be way up.
I'm sorry, I got cut out for a little while there. I'm having a thunderstorm on my side, so I got kicked out of here. But unless you haven't discussed it yet, do you have like your most treasured vinyl on you?
Like on 31G or just in general?
Just in general, the one that you value the most to yourself.
Fuck, that's a crazy one to ask.
If the house was on fire and you had to save one of them, basically.
Well, if the house is on fire, there's no offense to vinyl collectors, but like I got to get my bass. I got to get obviously my dog and the cat out of here.
Sure.
But my vinyl, it's specifically like the test pressings and all the weird shit. That's like my retirement fund, because let's face it, playing music, I'm fucked, you know. But I do have this. So like my most cherished is hard to say. If I could point out a couple, is that all right? Like
absolutely. Yeah, sure, man.
Let's see. This one's pretty funny if I can find it. Hold on.
While we have a second, I'm going to explain to everybody why I have a digital background behind me, because my wife and I are redoing our living room, and I've been told if I like having a place to live, I will not show what the room looks like. So that's why I have a digital watch
pretty
this
good.
as well. Yeah.
Okay, so growing up as a kid, I was obsessed with the Sex Pistols. I realized they're a little problematic. Like Sid Vicious was kind of dumb, and Johnny Rotten has kind of become questionable, if that. So anyhow, this is pretty wild. So at one point, I don't know if you guys know who Mark Waters is, famous photographer and a really good friend of mine in the Locust. Like he is, he passed away from COVID complications. So I love that guy, and he put out Crimson Curse's first record, and yeah, he's just a great dude. So anyhow, he took this Locust Melt Banana split and had Johnny Rotten sign it, which is pretty weird because well, Johnny drew boobs on it, which I guess because there's the dick monster. Artwork was by Sam McPheeters. It's probably one of my favorite album covers, at least that I'm part of. There's a lot to this. The original without the drawing, without the scribbles on it, is that
That's awesome.
what a fucking brilliant artwork. Sam McPheeters is so insane. Anyhow, like it was cool to have like Mark Waters get Johnny Rotten to sign a record that he's not even on, which I would feel pretty weird about doing. I unfortunately used to have a Struggle 7-inch, which was my first band, that was signed by Marky Mark from the Funky Bunch, but I don't know where that went. I think someone stole it at some point, but that was also pretty rad. But I don't know, like, so like most cherished would be like, or like if there's a fire, like, you know, that's probably gonna go for the ones that are like worth money. But I have one that's like probably not worth any money at this point. And it's like one of my all-time favorite records, which would be this Antioch Arrow record, first Antioch Arrow LP. So this record, like this actual copy is fucked. Like it's like chewed up and like just it probably skips a bunch. There's nothing special about it. It's not a cool color vinyl. But this is like when Gravity was like doing all their spray painted stencils on cardboard. So like the design aspect is very attractive to me, and the record's like one of my favorite albums. But this is probably not worth shit. There's a limited like red vinyl version, which if I had that, I would probably grab that if there's a fire. But this I could probably let go, and it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, it's one of my favorite records of all time. So there's that.
Antioch Arrow. I've never heard of that band.
It's early Gravity stuff. Like I don't know what year that came out in. 93, 94. They're one of the best bands at the time. But yeah, so there's tons of shit. I mean, I think if there was a fire and I was really gonna grab stuff, I'd probably just grab all of my 31G shit. Like if I do have that Cattle or like Silk String cover, I'd grab that. You know, just things like that. That's where I would head for all that stuff. So yeah.
Right on.
That's pretty cool stuff, still. Yeah. Johnny Rotten signing a Locust record. I wonder if he had any idea what he was signing, but that's.
Maybe. I mean, I mean, I've had some weird interactions with like people that were my like a generation before me that I looked up to as a kid. I mean, at one point I met Paul Cook, the drummer of the Sex Pistols, and I was like, hey, you know, like your band made me want to play music. As a kid, I would just like to give you this album, and I'm pretty sure you'll not like it. It'll be annoying. But he was like, you know what? He's like, I probably won't like it, but my daughter would. And then his daughter was like, oh yeah, her name's Holly. I know the Locust, and like I was like, holy shit, this is wild for me, you know. And then I ended up becoming friends with her and stuff in real life later on. But so just like things like that are kind of weird. I also had a similar interaction with Lux Interior from the Cramps, where I was like, hey dude, you changed my life, you know, here's my record. And he's just like, thanks. Whatever, that's it. So yeah, I mean, signing someone else's record is pretty bizarre. I don't know if I've ever been asked to do that, and I don't know if I'd really want to do that.
Right.
It just seems weird.
That would be weird.
Yeah.
But speaking of other people's music and this and that, what are you doing now? Like, you got anything new coming out? You got anything, any new projects or? What's Justin Pearson keep himself occupied with right now?
Yeah, there's always a lot going on. Right now, I'm about to go record the new Def Club LP. that's like next week. That starts next week. And then I've been working on a new Satanic Planet album, which is kind of written, but we're waiting on Dave Lombardo is in the band, so he's obviously like in a gazillion bands right now, more than me. And so we're waiting on him to kind of get back and finish the recording because he's only done a portion of it. So those are the two things I'm working on. And then there was a film about me that came out, called Don't Fall in Love with Yourself. And that is getting like a proper release on August 20th. So I've been like doing PR stuff, like press stuff for that and getting ready for that. That actually is another thing I'd like to show vinyl wise. The same with the Beverly Hills Cop record I showed you guys. We teamed up with Enjoy the Ride. So this is also so actually this is a big one. So this is like a Brand Moon that did the Mets stuff and all that shit, did this as well. And this idea is based off of that Kiss record I was telling you about. I was like, oh, let's just make it fucking look chrome. You know, it's supposed to look like a mirror, which I don't know if that works.
Yeah,
I guess it kind of works.
Yeah, you kind of, yeah.
But the point was I was like, dude, make it look like the Kiss record. And that was kind of like where we went from that. But yeah, all the vinyl variants are pretty gnarly. This is like silver and black. There's one of my favorites. If I dig through these, it'll probably be like the last one that I find. But again, like this is kind of like working with Enjoy the Ride was kind of like working with like Brain Dead or something, where you're just like do whatever the fuck you want, you know, and like you get like pretty gnarly vinyl. So my favorite one will probably be the last one I find. It's the last one.
Now, this soundtrack. Now, explain this to me. Is this like the Locust? Like, is it like a soundtrack of various bands, or? Like...
Yeah. So that's the best one, I think. I think like it's called a green snot stripe or something. But yeah. So it's all this stuff. I guess you can't really read it. Basically, the film is sort of about me and 31G, and then the score was done by Luke Henshaw from Planet B, and then someone from Mets and someone from Jesus, I'm drawing a fucking blank. Fucked up. Both collaborated, so they all collaborated on the score. So yeah, it's got like it's all my stupid bands basically, but then it also has it has Luke Henshaw, Graham Walsh, and Alex Edkins all doing the score. So like Locust song, a little clip of one of the score pieces, Struggle, a clip of a part of the score. Swing Kids, same score. So it's like this and that, but there's like little clips from like the people in the film talking. So there's
okay.
I don't know. It's a pretty rad record if you are into. I don't want to like if you like some of my bands, like you might like this. It's all over the place because it has like Struggle and then it has Planet B, which are like Struggle was like my first band ever, and then Planet B is like a new band, newish. So it's like. I don't know. People like Struggle probably don't like Planet B, or maybe they're just into weird shit, or they just want to get something cool. I think it's weird to say like, "Hey, the film's rad," because I'm in it. I feel like a fucking bit of a douche saying that, but I think the film is cool if I can like objectively remove myself from it and look at it as something else. Like I'm just a person that talks a lot and like kind of an instigator that put all these things together. But like really, when I watched the film. First of all, it should have been about Gabe Serbian who passed away, but we didn't know that was going to happen. But I think like that. I think like Gabe and a lot of the other people that are involved in it, Travis Ryan and Jose Palafox, like a lot of people that were just part of 31G made it something cool and unique and special for me, and I think for other people, because occasionally a lot of people come up and say like, "Hey, you saved my life," and I'm like, "How did I do that?" You know, but like because of the music and stuff.
Sure.
It's very flattering, and I'm glad that I was able to do something aside from putting out annoying music, but to help someone. But yeah, it's a cool film, and the soundtrack was just it was rad to because Enjoy the Ride puts out like some pretty gnarly shit, like I mean the Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack or fucking. I don't know. They did like Ninja Turtles stuff. Like
I was gonna say I got a Ren and Stimpy soundtrack from
yeah, of course.
You know, just...
So it's pretty wild to like be like, oh, I'm up there with Ren and Stimpy on a fucking website, you know?
Right. That's very cool. Hell yeah.
So, man. I don't know. I can pull them.
Well, real quick before we move on to anything else, I do have to ask because I keep forgetting about this. But can you talk briefly about your time on Jerry Springer?
Of course. Yeah, we just fucked around and like lied and got on the show, and then I think because of the timing of everything, it kind of like got a lot of attention, and I think it was like a little absurd and I don't know, like it worked like as like a marketing tool without me really realizing that that's what we were trying to do. I mean, as far as like marketing, I think maybe I'm the only one that benefited from it. The other people aren't really. I mean, Scott Bybin maybe through his endeavors, but yeah, it became like this kind of legendary thing. I think it could have been better. I also know a lot of what happened that got cut. They cut out like so much good shit, like really, really good shit. I wish that was in there. I wish there was some way to like obtain the raw footage and like make my own edit of it or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, we thought we were gonna get paid. We thought either like you'll get money to do this, and we didn't get shit. So, but whatever, it's cool. I'll do pretty much anything.
Obviously, because there he is on Vinyl Bag. We got him on a.
No, I mean like TV stuff. Like I was on this ghost stories show where they fucking talked about ghost farts. That was a weird one too, because my friend and I who were on the show, we both were like, let's talk about ghost farts, and we said it, but they managed to edit out every single time we said ghost farts. If you watch the show, we're just like, there's a stench, it smelled horrible or whatever. Like, dude, we fucking said ghost farts, but they like edit out parts and edit in like audio, and like they were like masters at taking the ghost fart out of there. So, but like, you know, and I got paid for that. So,
well, with the good and bad news, you can say ghost farts as much as you want on Vinyl Bag. Bad news, you're not getting paid.
Yeah, but we'll be on the History Channel because that's where that shit showed up. People were like, "What the fuck?" My cousin was like, "I saw you on the History Channel talking about ghost farts," and I was like, "Yeah."
That's incredible.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. I have something before I forget about it. When Def Club tours again, hopefully I can see you at a show where your microphone works. Do you remember in Tulsa, Oklahoma, your microphone didn't work and you were screaming? It was the only time I've seen Def Club. I drove 6 hours to see that show, and I got to see you. I got to watch you perform, but your microphone cut out. And I was just like,
yeah. So that was an interesting night because I don't know what happened. A lot of people got fucking mad at us. The microphone worked, actually. The PA was so not acceptable for like that, you know. So like, so the thing is like, the Locust had this problem a lot of times too with sound. Like if there's sometimes that was with like a decibel limit, but like if you take everything out of the equation, the acoustic snare or the acoustic drums are going to be louder than the PA. And so the guitars have to match that acoustic drum sound. So like nothing was mic'd. We were at the minimum of the audio that we could have as a band. And so the mic was like either just completely feeding back or non-existent. So it was like the PA was just not that great. And I was kind of making a joke like, hey, you know, sorry, like it's not our fault. We don't bring a PA with us. Sorry, like I guess we need to do that or something. And I was just kind of making a joke about how like Tulsa couldn't handle it or, you know, whatever, like whatever. And people got fucking really upset. Like a couple kind of like Karens of the left. People were just like, this is the DIY spot. You're disrespecting it. And I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to fucking make a joke because I can't hear myself. You can't. And like, I don't even need to be on here. Like I could just split and go outside or whatever. So it's kind of weird, but yeah, I don't prefer that. For many reasons. I want people to hear my voice, but also like when I can't hear it, I sing harder and blow my voice out. And it was like kind of a bummer. And people were fucking rude to us. Rightfully so. I was talking shit. I shouldn't have talked shit. But yeah.
That was a fun experience for sure. But like I said, you know, just I want to go to a show where I can hear you. You know?
Yeah.
So hopefully down the road.
It was totally frustrating. To like fail and then have everyone be dicks to you. Not everyone, having like a number of people be dicks to you afterwards. I'm just like, dude, you guys got to chill out. Like, I get it. I was making a joke about the fucking PA. Like, I shouldn't have done that. But like, I don't know, whatever. It was not my favorite show. I'll say that. But I do like Tulsa a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you for going, and I'm sorry. And
you bet. No, dude, it was fun, and I got to meet Scott Osmond. So
yeah, Scott's great.
Well,
how about next time? Like, let's just meet up ahead of time and hang out and like shoot the shit, and we'll put you on the list, and then it'll be like hopefully not a 6-hour drive or whatever it was that you said.
As long as okay. Before the pandemic, you and I were at the Mr. Bungle shows in February of 2020, and I was talking to you backstage. I had filmed Zealot, R.I.P. a couple months before that, and I asked you if you saw the footage, and you said yes, and you were allowed to come film any band that I am ever in for the rest of. And I was like,
yeah.
Mission accomplished then, because now I get to take my cameras and film. So hopefully, maybe we can get that arranged where we can bring in some cameras and film Def Club.
Yeah, that footage was incredible. I mean, I wish that Zealot did more stuff, but like that footage captured the essence of that band, and I was just like, dude, this is so sick. So,
well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Speaking of them, Jason Homaker had made a post a month or two back saying that there was going to be unreleased stuff using Blake's unused vocals.
Yeah.
Do you know if that's going to be through 31G or? I
don't. Fuck. I probably should just stop talking right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Like, I love Jason, and I don't really know the rest of the band. It was fucking terrible when Blake passed away. It like felt weird and horrible in all these ways that I can relate to. I've had a few bandmates pass away, and a lot of friends and people that I've worked with. So like, it just felt fucking really shitty, for obvious reasons. So, there's that. And I'm glad that I got to be part of that short band's existence in some way. And I think 31G is a very appropriate place for them to land. I mean, they fucking rip. So there's that. And from like a business person's perspective, you would think that it would sell decent. And it completely did not sell at all. And I can't wrap my head around it. And I think it's probably because they didn't tour, and maybe people just that were into it streamed the record, but people didn't want to buy the vinyl. And that's really what was a bummer. With that being said, if Jason was to say like, hey, we have this last thing, I would fully put it out on 31G. So he had kind of mentioned it to me a little bit, and I said, of course. But then knowing Jason, it'll probably be like 12 years, and they'll be like, here it is, and then I'm like, oh shit, I forgot. Yeah.
Right on.
Well, all right. I guess this would be a good time to end it. We do appreciate all your time today, Justin. And
yeah, of course.
There's an awesome collection you broke out for us, and we really appreciate everything you had, really.
It was fun. I could probably go on forever, so I appreciate capping it off. Yeah.
No, for sure. If we ever do a second episode, we'll definitely plan it a little bit better. But like, no, there were those 31G releases were amazing to see. They really were.
Cool. Thanks.
I have to say before I forget, like, I love your concept of the packaging, because I'm a big fan of that too. Like, your records, they can be splattered, they can be half and half, but the packaging is really what makes it a
Of course, yeah.
And I love that was a big part of what you were trying to accomplish in the early days, and I think you did a good job.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I feel pretty lucky and special that I've worked with people that were willing to take chances and do stupid shit with me. You know, it's fucking rad.
Sure,
for sure.
Also, too, if there's anybody that I could help you link up with that you might want to be on your show, just let me know and I'll make that introduction.
Sounds good. I
appreciate that.
Yeah,
one person in the back of his mind already, but
what's that?
I said I'm pretty sure Jeff's got one person on the top of his list already, but we'll talk about that here when we end this in a second. But thank you everybody for watching and tuning in this week. Thank you, Justin, again for being a guest on this show with us, and we will catch you all next week.
Thank you.
Take care.